Hi yogis, welcome back. I just want to share a few thoughts with you. Today's practice is going to be about surrender, right? Can we let go? We want things to be a certain way, and they don't always happen that way. So we have to figure out how to navigate that terrain, and that's part of what this practice, the physical practice, is. In our physical practice, we move through postures that are challenging to us. And today may be a little more physically challenging. I'm going to kind of see where I'm going as we start to move a bit. And so if it is, I'll certainly offer up many modifications. But always listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. As my friend Robin always says, no is a complete sentence, even in your home practice. So if you're looking at something I'm doing and being like, yeah, I don't think so, then don't do it. All right? But just some things to think about as we go, and I have something to share with us, I think, a little closer to the end as well. We're all going through a shift right now. We're being asked to come inside, and that coming inside feels like winter, right? And so even though on the calendar and outside we hear birds singing and it's spring, this time of hibernation, of coming within to really tune in to ourselves. This is such a valuable time for us to do some self-reflection if you allow it to happen, right? And so there's going to be moments when we're going to stop and we're going to be like, oh my God, this is way too much. That was me yesterday. Feeling overwhelmed by the circumstances and the lack of control. Yes, lack of control. Right? We don't get to control what goes on outside of this container. Even when we like to think that we do, we don't. So coming back within and realizing the tools we have. And so I've been reading this book on the seasonal soul about reconnecting into our soul selves and doing a little bit of shadow work and listening to what is happening inside. So I'm going to ask you as we move through this practice today to play with that, to listen, to see, like what kind of voices are coming up, what kind of scenarios play out for you. Do you tend to be the victim? Do you tend to be the teacher? Do you tend to be the influencer? Do you tend to withdraw and stay away, right? Like, what are your tendencies? Do you jump into postures full-heartedly and is the fullest expression that you can, or do you kind of like step back and go, oh, I don't know if I can do that, right? There is no right or wrong. They're just tools. These little inner voices are just tools to help guide us, to see maybe where we need to shine a little light, do a little work, and we'll do that when we're ready, right? Sometimes we're not ready. Those voices pop up and we like shut down, like I did yesterday. I wasn't ready. So just be real with that. Let yourself have that. And so just this little excerpt from this book that I'm talking about, and I'll share again a little bit later, a blessing that I just think is so beautiful. So when the shift arrives through the natural process of breakdown and decomposition, we cling to our ego, our small selves, and familiarity, despite them no longer serving us, right? So this familiarity of going out and being out and doing those things, that doesn't serve us right now. We need to come in, and we so resist coming in because our ego and our small selves wants to be out and about and important in that world, but we're important right here, right? So this resistance, that makes this change and growth all the more uncomfortable, right? So we have our own uncomfortableness of having to just be with ourselves, right? We numb ourselves out with TV, with alcohol, with food, shopping, whatever you want to call it. I have my vices, you have yours. We all use them to our own degree. So finding ways now to maybe separate from that, even if it's just for a breath, to know that it doesn't have to be your identity and that it is something that's just kind of poking up and saying, hey, look at me. I need some attention. It's like the child who's looking for attention, so they act out. We are like inner selves, these inner little identities of our soul are there to help guide us and teach us. All right, so let's see, anything else that I want to do pontificate about in this passage before we get started? Just, that we find ourselves running about frantically, inhibiting the process of transformation by trying to patch up and save and rescue. Sometimes we just have to let go. And right now we're being asked to let go of what your normal was, and let yourself soften into a new normal. And so our pain and suffering comes from our gripping, our holding on, but that's not what I know, and so I want to do what I know. I do too. I hear you. So let's see if we can move together today and surrender a bit of that. So go ahead and make your way into child's pose, right? So I'm just gonna set my stuff off to the side here for now. But as you make your way, just bring the knees wide. You always have the option of yoga blankets and pillows, props. If taking child's pose today seems like it would be warranted, a nice pillow to come forward on and lie on, do that, right? Honor what your body is asking for. For me today, I'm just going to take it the way I would normally would, and so I ask you just to bring your forehead down to the mat, which I'm just going to bring a block under my forehead here and give myself a little space. Your big toes will touch behind you, some of the dynamics of the physical posture, right? And the knees are wide. And as you sink the sit bones back, you're going to let them drop towards the heels. Sometimes this is too much on the ankles. And if that's the case, grab a blanket, roll it up, and bring it under the ankles so that you can keep a little bit of that flexion in instead of the extension if the extension's too much, right? So bring that in if you would like. Palms up. Let the palms face up. A lot of times we push them down so that we can get a little more active in length, but today I'm asking you to surrender. And so sometimes there'll be that rinse, that physical rinse of the body to let go, but in this little more passive posture, let's just take a few breaths together. I give you a lot to maybe digest mentally before we even get moving, so give yourself a little space with that. If none of it fits with you, if none of that resonates with you, just drop it. Let it go. Just taking my peek up to make sure you can see me. I'm learning with each of these videos, trying to make sure you can see my whole body. Take a full breath in and a full exhale. And then removing any props away, go ahead and bring yourself up. And then finding your way into down dog. So from here, finding that position that makes sense for you. Hands are firm into the mat. Just really draw yourself up and back nice and long. Your hands grip into the mat almost like they're gripping a jar open, and that causes, as you do that, your arms overhead, the shoulders broaden a bit. You want to give a little squeeze into the armpit so you really support your shoulder joint. And then your legs, right? Your internal rotation of the thighs pulling you up and back and connecting upper and lower body through core engagement. Really from here on out in this practice Take your left leg, reach it up to the sky, turn your hip up, bend the knee, press the sole of the foot over. Check in. You start to press back into this active restive posture. What is your body telling you today? Where are you gripping a bit? Where does it feel the need to open? Some big knee circles. One more time around. And then when you come back to that original spot, reverse. Let yourself open up, and then the left hip is going to drop in as you square yourself back up to the mat. Really pressing back long through the left heel, flex through the foot. Feel the head of the femur supported in your hip joint. I will harp about that until end of days. Bring the knee in, step it forward, low lunge. Hunker in to your left foot, nice and solid, straight down. Long through the right leg as you press back through the heel. Really find the length in the spine. And then you're squeezing the legs. It's like this little pull together of the legs that turns on through the inner thigh, the adductors, and then send the heart forward. So you have this nice deep core engagement, and then reaching long through the heart. Leave your right hand connected, floor or block, books, pillow, whatever you have by you if you need that extra little prop, and then finding your twist. Left arm reaches up. Stack shoulders. Maybe the gaze comes up. And then reaching long overhead. Just take that left arm, reach it over. Thumb will come up, pinky will come down. One more full breath in. And then coming back through, release the hand down. Right knee down, hands up onto the left knee, sink down and forward. Get nice and tall. Come into the right hip flexor. Take one more full breath in. And a full exhale. Release your hands down, curling the right toes under. Step yourself back to down dog. From down dog, come forward. High push up. Lower all the way down. Let your heart come forward into a little cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Really press the hands firm into the mat. The shoulders wrap onto the spine. The elbows squeeze in. The gaze stays low. You want to keep the cervical spine in line. Let your heart float so you really find this engagement through the back body. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale, release the forehead down. Press yourself up and back, down dog. Taking your right leg, reach it up to the sky. Turn your hip up. Bend the knee. Press the sole of the foot over. Little ankle rotations or knee circles again. Go about 3 in one direction. And then when you kind of land back up in center, switch it around. And then nice and long, reaching behind, let your hip drop in. So now you're squared up to the mat, your toes are pointing down. As you reach through your right leg, you're going to find that length, but notice if you feel like you're pulling yourself out of your hip, draw the head of the femur back into the hip joint. Bringing the knee in with intent, step your right foot to top of the mat, left leg long. Sink into the space. Your right foot, hunker it down, nice and long through the left leg. That little squeeze. Find that extra little engagement. Reach through the heart. And then as you're here, left hand's going to stay connected. Take your right hand, reach it up, find your twist. Keep reaching through through the crown of the head. Like there's this tug of war through crown of the head and through the left heel. As much length in the body as possible. And then extend right arm overhead, thumb up, pinky down. Full breath in. And then exhale, bring the hand around, left knee down to the mat, hands up onto the right. Sink yourself down and forward. So you're feeling that all right into here, right? The top of the quad, the hip flexor, just opening this up. Hips, they store so much, and the hip flexor is like, this is like our emotional muscle, right? It holds on. It is our fight or flight. All of this is that fast twitch, trigger muscle. When we feel fear, we're gripping, and so letting some length in so that we can, in the safety of our space, let go. So that we can surrender in to this moment for what it is, right? It's just this moment. If we can practice that in this physical practice, we can take it with us off the mat. One more full breath in, and then bring the hands down, curling your left toes under, step yourself back, down dog. From down dog, you'll wave yourself forward to a high push-up, plank pose, and then shift lower all the way down. All right, we'll come forward, cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Take one more full breath in. And then exhaling, releasing yourself down, pressing yourself up and back, down dog. Full breath in. And a full exhale. Some days it's good just to let that sigh. Take the gaze to your hands. Step or float. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Sweep yourself up, all nice and tall. Arms reaching up overhead. Maybe the gaze comes up. Maybe a lay back, right? I'll continue to challenge you as we move through our days to open up through your heart, through your throat. Speak loving kindness. Full breath in. And then bring hands into the heart. Let your eyes close. Feel your foundation, your feet as they root in, where the big and little toe come in, the inner and outer edges of the heel. Feel the kneecaps lift as you root into your mat. Thighs spiral in. You can feel that lift from the base of the perineum all the way up, heart floating. Hands are pressing pretty firm together. Take a nice full breath in. And a full exhale. Full breath in. And a full exhale. Let your eyes flutter open. Releasing the arms alongside, sweeping them up. Full breath in. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale halfway. Exhale, step yourself back, down dog. Come forward to a high push-up, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale back, down dog. Take a full breath in, and a full exhale. Gaze to your hands, step or float. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, sweep up top. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, step back, down dog. Come forward to a high push-up. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale back, down dog. Full breath in. Full exhale. Gaze to your hands. Step or float. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. One more Sane. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, step back, down dog. Come forward, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Full breath in. And a full exhale. Gazing to your hands, coming to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Sit back. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Sink it in. Find a little more depth. As the body is challenged, as your mind starts to witness some of the shake or the heat that builds, can you welcome that in? Right, surrender the mind that holds you back. And do them in just these little moments where we can prepare, right? It's these little baby steps where we practice. These safe places where we know if we need, we come out. And then we come back in and see what else is going on. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale, fold into Uttanasana. Inhale to a halfway lift, send the heart forward, and then step yourself back, down dog. Take your left leg, reach it nice and long, step it through, coming up, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. So same as our low lunge, you want to be nice and firm into your left foot, press down. And then as you press back through the right heel, almost like you're trying to press on the baseboard behind you, try to squeeze the feet towards one another. Lift up through the center, drawing low ribs, navel in, heart floating, arms reaching. And then just take a few breaths to swim around this pose. What does it show you? One more full breath in. And then wrapping in eagle arms, you're going to take the right arm under the left, elbows up to shoulder height, forearms away. If wrapping arms doesn't work, reach for opposite elbow and or opposite shoulder and let the elbows lift. Now, stay low. Start to come forward. Bring your right leg up and around. Wrapping in Eagle Garudasana. Release the right leg behind you. Warrior three body, eagle arms. Step back long. So you land back into crescent, then unwrap, open, warrior two. Sink in. One more full breath in. And a full exhale. Flipping your front palm, lay back, reverse right hand along the right thigh, or reach around and grab the top of the left hip. If you're like me, your left quad and left glute are probably talking to you a bit right now. Take a full breath in, and then exhale. Bring the hands down. Step yourself back, down dog. Come forward, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Taking your right leg, reach it nice and long, and then step the right foot forward. Left heel stay lifted. Come up, crescent lunge. So often when we come to the second side, there's a little more ease because we know what to expect. So let yourself sink in to that space. Your right foot nice and solid, left leg nice and long behind, a little squeeze in, heart floating. Alright, wrap in eagle arms. Left arm comes under right, forearms up, and away, grabbing opposite shoulder if that's better. Alright, stay nice and low. You're going to bring that left leg up and around, and then sink in. You can check in. What does the neck feel like? Are you gripping through the face or the jaw? Right, these areas that, believe you me, I've tried for years. They don't help the pose. So, what are you adding in to this current situation that doesn't help? Can you find a little clarity? Take one more full breath in, and then unwrapping the left leg, send it behind you, warrior three, eagle arms. A little softness in the right leg, really feel the internal rotation of the left thigh behind you, and turn on the core, crazy, reach through the heart. Touchdown if you need. And then step back. You're going to land in crescent first, then open. Warrior two. And then sink in. I'm starting to get a little warm. Hopefully you are too. This heat, this internal fire, this unji that we can build, it helps to burn off the tapas, the crazy, those things that we hold on to. Grace looks like she's had enough. Flip your front palm. Lay back, reverse, reach up and out. One more full breath in, and then bring the hands down. Step yourself back. Down dog, always welcome to stay here. Add the flow if you'd like. Coming forward, high push up. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back, down dog. Full breath in, and a full exhale. Let's see if we can move through that with breath. One more, full breath in. Full exhale. Take the gaze to your hands. Step or float. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Sit back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to a halfway lift and step yourself back, down dog. Take your left leg, reach it long behind you, step through, bring yourself up, crescent lunge. Wrap in eagle arms, right arm under left. Stay nice and low. Bring the right leg up and around, wrapping once or twice. And then unwrap the right leg, send it behind you. Warrior three body, eagle arms. Step back long, landing into crescent. Open, warrior two. Flip your front palm, lay back, reverse. And hands all the way down to the mat. Step yourself back, down dog. Go forward, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Right leg reaches nice and long. Step the right foot through. Come up, crescent lunge. Wrap in eagle arms. Left arm under. And then staying nice and low, bring your left leg up and around. Sink in. Unwrapping the left leg, send it behind you, warrior three. And then step back as you land into your crescent feet. Unwrap, warrior two. Flip your front palm, reverse. And then hands down to the mat. Step yourself back, down dog. Come forward, high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Full breath in. Full exhale. Full breath in. Full exhale. Take another breath. We'll remove Tink from my speaker. All right. One more full breath in. Full exhale. Take your left leg, reach it long, and then stepping the left foot through back into crescent. Couple of options here. You can stay high, opening, arms front to back. You can take that low lunge that we did at the beginning of class, hand down. Or you can stay long, keep reaching through the heart, and then twist, bringing the elbow over, a little prayer twist. Bringing back maybe some of those intentions from the beginning of class, those moments where you were taking a little reflection about where you were. Open up arms, floor to ceiling. Taking a half bind if that's there, maybe full bind. Releasing the bind, bringing yourself back through and up. Open into warrior two, but now straighten through your left leg. So you're going to pull the left hip back. And I'm sure you probably have all received this by now with children being home more often. But you can think of it as hands on the hips, and as you pull the hip back, it's like that whatever from your kids, right? Whatever. Reaching. Thanks, Zach, for sharing that teaching moment with me. I will always remember that from you. Come forward and bringing your left hand down, floor, ankle, shin, block. Keep drawing your left hip back. Keep reaching through the left shoulder and crown of the head. And then let your shoulders stack. Find this length in the body. Take one more full breath in and a full exhale. Take the gaze down to the floor. Bring yourself back up. And then as you do, just hop the right foot in. So you square your hips up to the top of the mat. And then as you're here, a couple arm variations. You can just interlace fingertips behind and let the shoulders rock in. You can grab opposite elbow. If you need to get into forearms and wrists a little bit, maybe you take namaste hands up the back or down the back, depending on wrist flexibility. Now, as both feet root pretty solid in the mat, squeeze them towards one another. Draw up through the heart. Get nice and long. And now start to come forward. A little softness in the left knee as you come forward so that you're not hyperextending. And then fold over the left thigh. Let your head dingle. Folding into this pyramid pose. If it feels wobbly, let your right foot go out to the right more, so a little wider stance. Shorter stance will make it more secure. A little longer stance will make it a little more challenging. So whatever you need today, let yourself find that. Release your hands down, leaving your right hand connected to the mat. Take the left hand, reach it up, get long. You can start to bring your right hand over the left foot, a little more advanced, or maybe to the outside of the left foot. Just another opportunity to rinse, to wring out, to let go. Releasing some of these past patterns. We need to find different ways, right? There's things that work really well for us, so tap into those. And then the things that are challenging for us, that we seem to always be butting up against, can you soften your grip around that to let it go, to see something new? Take a full breath in and a full exhale. Release both hands down, soften into your left knee, step yourself back, down dog. Come forward to a high push-up plank pose. We're moving into side plank, so you can choose how you want to do this. You can bring the right knee down and then open up, bringing the left arm up to the sky, left leg long. You can lift the left leg. You can stagger both feet. You can stack. You can extend. You can go for the toe hold. Right, so many different ways. Find the one that works for you. Take one more full breath in, and then releasing, coming through high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Take your right leg, reach it nice and long, step the right foot through, coming up, crescent lunge. Finding your twist the way that it supports you on the side, so that might be tall, just opening up arms. Maybe you play with that low twist like we did at the beginning of class. Maybe for you, you're up for finding it a little deeper, so crossing the right elbow over, hands to the heart, maybe opening up floor to ceiling. Maybe half bind. This side is always a little more tricky for me, so we'll see if full bind is there. One more full breath in, and a full exhale. And then releasing the bind, bringing yourself up. Hopping the left foot in, so now you can straighten through both legs. Nice and grounded in both feet. Get tall, hips square to the top. Whatever arm variation you would like. So interlacing fingertips, grabbing opposite elbow, prayer hands up or down. Once you find your spot, feet rooted, squeeze them towards one another. Lift up off the hips. Get nice and tall. And then as you fold forward, you draw the right hip back. Keep a little softness in the right knee. Folding. Letting go. As you start to move through this practice, right, we're in this a good, movement-wise, a good half hour. So as you're here, can you drop into your heart? Can you listen? What is it telling you? Can you let go of the heady conversations, the things that get in the way of really bringing you joy? And even if it's just for this second, this breath, can you drop them? Can you let them fall out of your head as you dangle into this pose and let yourself maybe have a glimpse of what would that joy be that would fill your heart? What would make your soul sing? We all have our own unique gifts to bring, and our internal structure is unique to us. We're crazy magical. But we've let ourselves sink into this heady world and let it tell us what we should, could, can't do, and we abide by it. So let yourself let go of some of that so that you can soften into the creativity of you. Go ahead and release the hands down. Soften into your right knee. Step yourself back, down dog. Come forward to a high push-up plank pose. We're moving into side plank again. So as you rock over to the left knee can come down. Right leg long, right arm reaching. Maybe bringing both feet, staying nice and long. Maybe reaching top arm, maybe reaching top leg, maybe the bind. One more full breath in. Releasing both hands down. Coming through high to low. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back. Down dog. Bring yourself forward to a high push-up. And then nice and slow, all the way down. Chin, cheek, or forehead to the mat. Maybe a little rock in the hips. And then coming to center, you can interlace fingertips at the small of the back, let the shoulders rock in. Really press through the thighs into the mat, maybe even curling the toes under, and then start to float the heart and float the arms up off the back. And then once you come here, if that feels okay in the back, you can start to float the legs up. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale, lower, come all the way down. Other cheek down, or hands to create that pillow, forehead resting. And then back at it. Same thing. Interlace fingertips. Let the heart float as the shoulders wrap onto the spine. Arms lift. Legs float if that's good. Keep the gaze down. You don't want to arc through the cervical spine. Full breath in. And then exhale, lower. Coming all the way down. Little rock in the hips. And then press yourself back. Find a child's pose before we move on. Alright, make your way up. And then from here, pressing back, down dog. Walk the feet through, coming on to your back. So as you come on to your back, we'll set up for bridge pose. Setu Bandha. You want to make sure that you can graze your heels with your fingertips so that they're in the right spots. So feet press in. As you start to press in, your hips will start to lift, and then let your shoulders rock in, and you can interlace fingertips under the small of the back as you press up. This is all driven by the strength of the legs. We've done camel in the last couple of videos. So now we're going into bridge pose. It's the same pose, just in a different plane. You might find this one a little easier because there's not that opening through the throat that you normally get as you move through camel pose. Enjoy this sun as it's shining on my forehead now. Thank you. Lift a little higher. One more full breath in. And then exhale, lower. Release all the way down. Inhale. And a full exhale. Press into the feet. Hips lift. Come back up. Full breath in, and exhale, lower. All right, so we're going to take one more if you have it in you. If not, bring the soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Otherwise, plant the hands just outside of the shoulders. We're going to move into wheel pose, come back to bridge if that's better. If you had enough, Supta, pressing in. One more full breath. And then lower all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together. The knees fall open. Supta Baddha Konasana. Left hand on your heart, right hand on the belly. Feel how alive you are. Right, back bends are igniting, they energize the body. As you open the spine, it gives a tug on all of the nerves. And that little tug creates that electric impulse and stimulates the body. And so you might feel the heart pound a little bit more, or breath be a little more full. Embrace it. Have joy around that. Gratitude that you can. Alright, bring the knees together, bring them in towards the heart, give yourself a nice little squeeze, and then Moving into happy baby, catch the inside edges of your feet to pull down as you press up. Sometimes rocking here feels good. Sometimes extending one leg long and then the other is good. And then go ahead and release. We'll take upside down cow face. I love this. I did a workshop with Sean Corn years ago and she called it miserable heifer. I love that. So go ahead and take your right leg, cross it over the left. You're gonna reach down, catch hold of your feet or ankles, and then you're drawing the knees in toward your chest. Keep using, like I often use the left leg to really drive the right knee closer so you get a little deeper into the piriformis. Follow the rhythm of your breath. Notice when we start to get still, how the mind wanders. The stillness is where we find the answers, when we slow down and let go of all of those things that we use to distract, to numb. And we let ourselves just settle down to the sediment at the bottom of the water. And we stop stirring and slushing all of that up. And we just stop thrashing through it and we let it just sit. And we too just sit. Clarity comes. It'll come to us in all different forms depending on what we need. Take one more full breath in and a full exhale. Release the bind. Give the knees a squeeze. Bring yourself up to boat pose, Navasana. Several different ways to be here. Hands behind thighs if you need. You can extend the legs long. You can keep the knees bent. You can bring the hands behind. Do whatever you can so that it doesn't become so hip flexor focused and you can get a little more core focused. So for me, that means I have to grab behind the knees and then really float my heart up nice and tall and then get crazy engaged to the feet. Let your toes spread all gnarly. For the longest time, I kept saying I was going to call my studio Gnarly Toes. Because I just think that's funny. We landed on Indigo Om Wellness, and that Indigo Om because that is the sound of the third eye, and indigo is the color of the third eye, and Michelle and I strongly believe that we all need to come within and we need to take that time to self-study and see how we're doing. What do we need to do? How do we change things? How do we grow? That's how we came to the name. Take one more full breath in. And then exhale, release yourself down. You can give yourself a little wiggle around if you'd like. And then we're going to move into the other side. So take your left leg, cross it over, reaching to catch the feet. Using now the right knee to really press into the left shin. I'm kind of like just under my knee. So pressing into the left shin to help find that stretch through piriformis. So we have this deep six muscle, but the one that we always identify with is piriformis because it's the easiest one to remember. It's the biggest one of the six too, if I recall correctly from my anatomy classes. So we're just going to take, maybe roughly 10 breaths here in silence. to give you that opportunity to swim in your silence, to see what's screaming at you inside that you need to pay attention to. Go ahead, unwrap. Give yourself that little rock and roll, bringing yourself back up. Boat pose, Navasana. Can you do it a little differently this time? Maybe you dip it a little lower, find a little more core, don't hold the legs, maybe hands need the prop. Maybe you can look at a little giggle at the toes. Trying to lift the heart up. That's going to help you find core engagement. One more full breath in. And then release. Bring yourself all the way down. Hug the knees in. We're going to find about 10 breaths in an inversion and then Shavasana. So you're welcome to take legs up, Viparita Karani. You can rock into shoulder stand or plow. I'm actually going to flip around and do a little headstand because it's been a while. So if you are practicing headstand or want to practice headstand, your couch can be really great for that, by the way. So when you set up for headstand, I do a tripod, so interlacing the fingers and then creating this little triangle that the crown of the head's going to come between. And I do my best to really press into my forearms so that your forearms are what support you. But what's beautiful about having your couch here, right, is as you come into it, you have that behind you so that if you fall, you're not going to fall into anything heavy or get hurt, right? And so then you can play with lifting. And then if you fall, right, oh, there's the couch. So then you can, just play with pushing yourself back through. So just some food for thought if you're wanting to do that. Otherwise, staying with your legs up, Viparita Karani. And so then as I'm here, I'm really pressing into the forearms. There's very little weight on my head. And reaching up through my feet. My legs are super engaged. My core is drawn in. This is whole body engagement. And then as you come down, you're going to start to fold in at the hips. And you can play with this engagement, right? This core engagement, nice and slow. Whew. And then bring yourself all the way down. find a little child's pose if you're in headstand. If you're on your back, you're welcome to take fish or supported fish. Fish pose is where you take your legs long. You can use a block or a book or a pillow if you have it to support you. Otherwise, you can lie back on forearms and you squeeze the forearms in. Your legs get nice and active. You draw long, so reaching through the heart, squeeze your shoulders in. Your heart puffs up towards the sky and then your head drops back. And then as you're ready, let yourself get really long. So let the legs come long onto your mat. Your arms are going to open up alongside. I'm going to come into a seated position because as you drop into Shavasana, I just want to share this blessing with you. Each day, we are blessed. So for now, let yourself just drop in. Your bones are nice and heavy onto the mat. You can feel the muscles just kind of melting around them, supporting them. And maybe as you close your eyes and you just start to let go of any Ujjayi breath or any of your breathing patterns that supported you through this practice, letting yourself just drop into that natural rhythm. And I'll close today with a blessing for endings. Again, this is from the book, The Seasonal Soul. As I move into my emerging energy, where I am being called, I surrender all that has served me, all that I have created, all that I have brought forward. I am ready now to experience other parts of me and co-create a future built from the womb of my soul. But to do this, I must release and return to the universe what no longer resonates with me. Thank you, pain. You have taught me well. I know the depth of my strength. Thank you, loss and sadness. Your milky arms gift me the compassion I never had. Thank you, anger, hurt, and rage. I know what I stand for. It's to shine like the exploded stars, casting light where the shadows are. May my intuition guide me along this new unknown path. May my heart be bold and filled with strength. My bravery and passion play their part. And when the internal dragons arise with fierceness of fire, I will back myself up with the knowing they cannot see, that expansive possibilities that lie in me. I am the universe in motion. I am light and dark. I am the earth, the wind, the water, the fiery spark. I trust in the seeds of light that are planted within me. I am ready for this next adventure. I will live this earth life wholeheartedly, full as me. Start to deepen your breath. Allow a little movement back into your fingers and into your toes. if it feels good for you, reach your arms long out in front of you and legs long out in front of you. Just welcome that length back into your body. And then when you're ready, bring your knees in towards your heart and find your way onto your right side. With your eyes closed, bringing yourself up to a seated position, hands resting at heart center. Draw a full breath in. And a full exhale. Full breath in. And a full exhale. On this in-breath, drawing your thumb knuckles up to your forehead, let your elbows come wide. Draw a huge smile on your face and light in your heart. Inhale. And exhale, bow forward. Namaste. Because I miss saying it at the end of every of my massage that I give, I will share it here with you. May today and always you lead with love in your heart. May you find the right words to speak your truth. Be well, my friends. Namaste.